Just look for dodge stuff real quick.
What do you mean dodge stuff?
The dodge action?
I just wanted him to be looking at the book at the start of the episode again.
What the fuck?
I see. Greetings! Once again we are here with these brave souls who continue their crusade against the vile darkness of the land of Barovia. Not the least of which being...
Definitely not the least. I'm the most. Rise up, all others.
But first the word.
Jesus Christ, what are you, 6? I am Ari Vilas. I am playing Sasha of the Unseen Eye. I'm ready. I have seen the future, and it holds only my success, with Fairly's mine. Yeah, let's do this.
I'm Robert. I'm playing Greila, the nature cleric, and he's the most cocky. And if I die, I'm gonna take him with me.
Not very fucking personal light from you.
Shut up. I'm a nature cleric. I'm neutral good. That doesn't mean I have to be nice.
It's true.
My name is Jeff. I'm playing a kinky monk ranger named Crack. And yeah.
Ed, still playing Siguror, Minotaur Ancestral Guardian, and potentially looking forward to crushing some whatever the fuck's gonna try busting through that church door. Because it's not gonna be a quiet night.
That's true. What's gonna say?
One would think.
He might give us a day of respite.
And yet,
Throw us off.
His lawful evil.
quiet the night is.
See?
While the darkness is laced thick with impending dread, and you become each in turn very aware of how at the foot of the devil himself you sit, you sleep.
Sorry.
No external threat presents itself.
It's all psychological, man. He's trying to mess with us.
Towards the early hours of the next dawn, however, any watches taken are accompanied by soft sobbing from elsewhere inside the church.
Oh, well, that's a bummer. However, during my watch, I'm going to spend time with that spellbook, and I'm going to, since watches are done by hour, I'm going to take my hour to inscribe the identify spell into my spellbook. Since I am a divination savant, I get to do it in half the time for half the money because it is a divination spell. So I will be adding that to my spell list. And then in the morning when we're burying people and preparing food and stuff, generally from the time we wake up to when we leave, just kind of curious how long that is. Would you say 2 hours?
I'd say around that.
Okay, then I will also spend that time in the morning with the spell book, adding another spell to my spell book, and then I will add and prepare magic missile.
I'll cast Gentle Repose on the person we buried. So I mean, they're already undead, but...
Yeah, if someone else wants to talk to the crying person, they can do that.
Well, I was actually wondering, the crying's coming from, is it from the priest or is it from, I did not forget her name, Ireena. Yeah.
When Siguror
I know why
goes snooping, he finds that it is the priest.
Okay, I was gonna say it was her, and I was gonna say I know why. See, she was going to have a kiss with the man she was in love with, but her first kiss was in fact with Dio, and that would just ruin any woman's day.
It would. Hopefully she has been saved such a tragedy.
You get it? Because the lady from part one's name is Ireena. It's very similar.
Whether or not attempting to consult him is worth spending some of your watch, or whether or not you wait until the morning, It's up to you.
A part of the rest, since I have proficiency
Crap, you should
in
go talk to
using.
him.
Hello.
No cry! No cry!
No cry, punch him in the face. Oh my god, that's so funny.
And horrible.
Yeah, obviously, that kind of goes without saying.
Since I do have proficiency in a horn, a part of it is during a long rest I can try to compose a new tune or lyrics for the instrument, which can be later used to try and impress a noble or spread rumors or.
You're a Minotaur barbarian. What noble are you?
That
gonna
part suck.
Ancestral Guardians. It's ancestral instrument of Heimdall.
I can get it.
Yes, that's not what I asked.
That sounds like something
I'm
a
closer to
Viking
high
would do.
than you are.
Like some
Right, 'cause you're
people's,
blind.
some people's,
That is the joke.
some people's hobbies are like describing things or
Yeah.
maybe reading.
If you're real.
A Viking hobby totally sounds like playing horns because it's like a masculine instrument, kind of, sorta.
He's not playing with the normal horns that people play with, David.
You know what else was a Viking pastime?
Yeah, I don't care.
Getting your hair done.
Yeah.
They took their hair care super seriously.
Also
Yeah, have you seen
farming.
their
Did it
beards?
obsessively? Yeah.
Well, he's not asking anybody to do his hair, so.
Well, I'm saying
He's
you might
a
be doing this over here.
Minotaur.
Do you have a thing of
Dreads down.
No. I mean, how sometimes they have that mane of black hair that goes down because your character might obsessively. If they're supposed to be like Viking, he would probably obsessively like trim and clean it.
They're pretty clean. Yeah.
I was mainly talking because he mentioned specifically
Fair enough.
composing some stuff. Though he is
I just wanted
likely
to
well
sound
groomed.
off about some
If you want, I
about some
can
Viking
try making a roll for it.
for writing music.
Yeah. Making a tune.
Is that a fine heroin roll?
Oh,
sorry, inspiration.
Well, don't play that horn
Why
while
not?
I'm trying to sleep, you bastard.
I am trying to sleep. Bah. Sorry. Bah.
Try and stop me.
That's funny.
16.
That's what I figured. Well, I guess Greila wouldn't be used to it, but you must be used to it.
Oh, loud noises.
All night while you're trying to sleep.
There's a bit of inspiration you have built up.
It's been
This-
years.
this
since I
proves
was
a
in
nice
that
album
kind of
for it.
condition now.
Because I can try using it to try.
To complete the reference, he starts playing
Time
with
the
Mac on his
priest
horn, and
and
he's like,
his
wow, it's just like my childhood.
Yeah.
Try to
He's
see
a
that
Joe with
control a
last
little
week,
bit.
Mac on
Yeah.
people were trying to
Why
say
not?
It's worth a
something.
try.
He also
Worth
fucked
a
his
try.
girlfriend
Super
really
loud.
loudly while trying to sleep. Not very nice. I mean, good for him, but damn.
The morning finds you better rested, if not necessarily better equipped.
I think we're better equipped since we don't look.
Food is had, and inevitably, business must be dealt with. The
Right.
business of burying the once burgomaster of the village of Barovia.
Like I said, I'll be casting General Repose as a ritual on anybody we bury.
Which what does it actually do?
It prevents them from coming back from the dead. It also makes them not decompose and extends the time that you can resurrect them.
Huh.
Yeah.
Neat. That's just a cantrip?
No, it's not a cantrip. It's a spell, but I can cast it as a ritual so it doesn't take a spell slot from me.
Which only makes it, in my opinion, all the snazzier.
Yeah. He probably is already partially decomposed, though. They were keeping him in a house for however long.
Well, from what they said, it was only like a day.
No.
No?
No.
They had remarked that the house was under constant attack until the death of the burgomaster, and then there had been, by their account, at least 3 days where no attacks had happened upon their house.
So he's pretty gross.
They had commented on the suspiciousness of this reprieve. So yes,
He probably just looks.
you smelt him when you entered their home.
Yeah, he's not.
Another
Fair.
day has not improved.
Also,
Case?
if we are too rough with him, he will just pop at this point.
Yeah.
Something to take into consideration.
Well, the Minotaur with the horns can carry him because I'm not. Also, I have 7 strength, so I'm not carrying jack shit.
How else are you gonna get stronger?
I don't know. I don't need to
You
get
gotta
stronger.
lift.
The bleary-eyed priest is somehow motivated by Ismark and Ireena to drag himself to the graveyard.
I guess they want to talk to him since I busted. Because we're all pieces of shit.
I ain't gonna talk to him, I just knocked him out.
Add to write stuff.
I know
into
you.
my
I know
magic
you
book.
had to prepare stuff. I'm just.
I'm very busy with wizardry.
His sermon for the man is notably less enthusiastic than one might expect, or if you've attended any funerals yourselves that you have seen. The proceedings drag on for seemingly hours before his words are spoke and the man is put into the ground,
Okay.
safeguarded by Greila's efforts, and returned to the earth from whence he came, metaphorically speaking. There's a moment where the priest then walks off slowly and sits slumped against one of the outer walls of the cemetery.
Hmm.
Ismark turns, his expression clouded. Now that that is done, we should be able to leave.
Is he coming with us? So wherever we're taking Ireena.
He shakes his head. No.
No, he's not here. Alright.
It would be best if he stayed here, and I do not think he is in a condition to go anywhere regardless.
Alright.
If you are brave enough to travel as we are traveling,
So I take it you are going with us then?
What? I mean,
Must.
yeah.
We're escorting her to fucking.
No, it is mine.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Doesn't
I
matter
must.
if we're talking about it.
I must make sure that my sister arrives in Vallaki safely.
I must ask, Ismark, would your town be safe without the river master? No offense, but it does not look like the town is most capable of defending itself.
Supplies seem to be getting low as well.
It's the only supply we know of that.
It is
somehow
not,
is mine, though.
One can assume.
though I fear that that will not be an issue. Many people, almost all of them, are used to bowing and scraping to the devil's whims, and as such he pays them no mind. I feel that in my absence, they should be safe if only due to their own cowardice. Though even if there were a threat, my sister is more important.
Well, if that is how you feel, I suppose I understand. Before we head straight there, though, I believe it would be prudent to first head back down the town. Although I was able to gather my supplies, my allies were not able to, and it would give them an opportunity to do so. Additionally, on the way to Vallaki is an encampment of the Vistani. I'm sure you know this.
I do. Though
You want to tell me you want to actually go see the seer? I suppose it's here.
The seer is a wise woman. She can see the future. I believe it would be safest, not just for us, but for Ireena as well. She can see your future, and if Strahd does have machinations on you, she will offer insight into what they are exactly. I believe that would be the smartest course of action. Merely hiding you from the demon's wrath will only work for so long.
Do you know the price to be paid?
Out of character, does she charge for this?
you've never heard of her charging, and Ismark speaks. Whatever price it is not to the disliking of travelers like yourselves. Very often there are those that seek her counsel, though I've never heard of any meeting anything else but their doom. I have no desire to speak with her, for I am confident that Vallaki will be a safe haven for my sister. But if you wish to visit for your own selves, I am currently indebted to you, so I will not protest.
How
shouldn't
make
be,
it like
It
dick.
shouldn't be a long diversion anyway.
I will say,
Out of character, no.
Well, I was saying that in character.
It's like on the way.
I will say, you may not like the Vistani, and trust me, I understand. I would not blame people's demise solely on the lady. Many people meet their demise in Barovia. Werewolves, druids, hellspawn.
I am well aware.
Do not blame it on things that are not to be blamed.
Just blame druids for killing people.
If I have friends,
Druids from Barovia.
if I have
Yeah.
friends, I
Well, I'm
apologize.
asking.
Okay, well, I'm asking you. I will say, yes. The werewolves we encountered earlier, some of them, there are those in the woods who worship evil nature.
Yeah. Well, I'm aware that I've only ever met good druids or neutral. Well, I shouldn't use the fucking actual line. This is. I've only ever met
Those that
in
respect
different
the law,
druids
the law of people.
in nature I've
The law of
observed so
nature.
far.
This place corrupts many things. Some of the trees here, they possess evil. The character now I am starting to sound like evil. Dead. Anyway,
We are starting to sound like what?
It's true.
like Evil Dead.
Oh,
But the trees here are evil.
At least to your knowledge, it is true.
Playing Ash as a D&D character.
So,
This is my improvised weapon. What is it?
Oh yeah, I think never.
so yeah, basically, let's go to that shop first so that you guys can get supplies, and then on the way to Vallaki, we should stop.
Definitely wouldn't be a bad idea.
And yeah, look.
Well, the encampment is much closer than Vallaki. Like, you'll hit it well before you'll hit it.
Well, okay.
we saw supplies now.
At least if it was described to you or you correctly. I forget who gave the directions.
I still
to
think
who.
I'll
I wish it was you.
Yeah. Because it's like fucking not barkers, whatever the hell.
Hype man.
Hey, yeah.
The Flavor Flav to the Madam's Chuck D.
It is a very brief journey, as the church is still in the same town, so it's just a matter of walking and going. However,
Yes, I have my spells. Oh, great.
However, the overcast sky of yesterday returns today. For any thinking that perhaps it was a coincidence.
Yeah.
Definitely not a coincidence.
Does the fog roll with it? Get out of town!
Well, we're talking about the sky.
Get out of here.
The fog is no doubt present,
Get
perhaps
out of
elsewhere.
here.
Hidden. That's what kills people in the mist. It isn't the mist itself. It's Walter Mouth. It's Walter Matthau just fucking. No, Mr. Wilson, please. Anyway.
Before long, you are standing in front of a creaky doored, water-stained building with a crooked sign that reads Billrath's Mercantile.
I will say, now, this man, he will not treat your money fairly. Tell me what it is you want, and I will obtain it.
I spoke of it before.
Yes, well, just reminding, just in case this guy's gonna rip you off if.
Rations
Is
and
there-
bolts.
You want rations and bolts?
I want rations, a bunch of water skins, and
Powdered silver?
powdered silver.
You want components, or do you need powder silver specific?
Well, a spell component pouch is 25 gold, so I want one of those. And but powdered silver is separate. It's not included in the spell component pouch, because it has a cost.
Yeah, that's a material component that requires a cost. And I assume you want armor and a shield?
And probably more rack of food. Probably not be a bad
So
idea.
basically, I'm just going to go. I mean, unless you want me to roleplay it out, basically, I'm going to go in, take the money, buy the stuff, and give it to them once we're back outside, because I don't want them ripping them off. I can roleplay that if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
Only ever so briefly,
Okay.
because there's a point where you finish making your requests after he greets you quite happily once again, and he says, a bit more comprehensive this time.
I'm going on a journey. I need supplies. You see, I thought I would stay here longer, but you know how things are.
Could I get some kind of deception roll on that?
Well, I am leaving.
No.
Yeah, I'm not going to Milwaukee.
He also never asked if he was going alone.
Do you still want me to roll
Yeah.
this? Okay. I don't think I'm telling a lie. 12.
Of course. Must be prepared. You acquire your goods.
Before I leave, I will say to him, and yes, for the future, I will note, it seems as if you deal in items that adventurers would be find of particular interest, yes?
Yes, this is true.
Well, I'm looking to further my studies in the field of magic, as they were. And I was interested in knowing if you had any spellbooks or scrolls. Arcane knowledge. Or if you might know someone who would be able to provide me with these things, yes? Perhaps in Valakias. That is where I'm headed.
No. At the Blackie. Can't
Yes,
think
I
that you'll
love
find
Cornwall.
much of interest there concerning that. As likely the master knows, not a whole lot in that city other than some good folk, if maybe a little touched.
Too much wine, see?
Oh no. Have you not been? Are you perhaps new?
I have not been since I was a child.
Hmm.
And a character which I'm assuming is true, unless there's a reason my character could not have been to Valaki before. In which case, if it's not true in character, then I won't say that.
Right,
I'll
it's
say I've
true in
been-
character.
Okay.
The people who run the place, they've taken to excessive displays and festivals as a kind of celebration thing. Word has run along the grapevine, and people find it rather charming, or at least they did. Glad we're able to just go about our day-to-day here.
I'll
He supplies you, and you're able to leave.
So he doesn't have any spellbooks or scrolls. You know where I can get any?
He does not.
Okay, well, that's fine.
I'm afraid I'm not so lucky.
Shake my fist at you. Okay, I will thank him for the supplies. I will head down the street, meet with these guys, give them their supplies. Yeah, let's go.
You can make a specific note to that when we
Yeah, just
break.
during the break.
You nod and depart.
Shield added +2.
+2.
The road is long and lonesome, but with no cheery music to guide you. You merely take slow, soggy footsteps on this road further into this land of evil.
Evil! Sorry.
You said I'm a woman. Evil. I have companions.
You're alone on the inside. Tears. Just like around.
It is perhaps an hour before you reach a river.
And are we going by foot or by horse?
5 foot.
I'm gonna climb up on someone's back so I fucking. What?
Within about an hour, you come within sight of a river. Despite the cloudy, somewhat shaded woodland area that you traverse, this river is clear and blue, as if a reflection of the winter sky that you certainly cannot see through the shroud above.
If the water looks fine, it'd probably be a good spot to refill water skin stuff at it.
Can I possibly take a little bit of water in a vial and use my alchemy tool proficiency, possibly medicine skill, if that, maybe one with advantage somehow, and test the water and see if it's clean and safe to drink?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Cool. So do you want me to roll in plus alchemy's tools or wisdom plus medicine? And can I roll that with advantage for having both?
I'll use wisdom plus medicine. I don't think advantage is necessary. You can just roll one.
I got a 20.
The group pauses for a moment, per Siguror's suggestion. A bit of water is taken and treated. In Sasha's expert opinion, the water is safe to drink.
I will say, I believe the water is fine if you would like to refill water skins. And yeah, let's do some of that. Get some water. Keep going.
You continue farther, eventually coming to a bridge. Old, wooden, but still fairly sturdy looking. No great secrets emerge from it as you approach or as you cross. The sound of boots on wood or hoofs on wood echo out through the woodlands. While walking, Ireena turns to the group. I'm sorry I had forgotten, but earlier you had asked about the traveler who attempted to lead a revolt against Strahd, did you not?
Okay.
Who asked?
Oh yeah, we asked about the vampire we killed, right? Did he join up with like a crew that tried to kill
Yes.
Strahd?
Yeah, right.
Yes, does that happen often?
No. Usually we get travelers who run afoul of the devil or confront him just by themselves. But there was one, not long ago, a mage, great and powerful, who declared that they would strike the devil down if only with the aid of others. He was able to rouse a number of townspeople to his cause, though he was struck down like so many others.
This mage, Ismark, is this the mage you spoke of when I first arrived?
It is. It was quite the news a short while ago.
Interesting. Huh. I hope Strahd doesn't have like a fucking wizard vampire spawn. And I have a sneaking suspicion we're gonna roll up into that castle and he's gonna be like, well, of course. I'm gonna be like, fuck you, fuck this, fuck this spell.
How long ago was that the most recent attempt on his keep?
Castle. And I will point. Is Castle Ravenloft still within view? Since we're only an hour away?
Yes.
I will point to them and say, that this is Castle. Castle Ravenloft.
It was some time ago. 2 weeks or more.
And how big was the group?
The group was sizable. At least 10 townspeople, including Doru, none of whom we saw again. The same could be said of the mage.
This sounds like such an anime name. I hear Doru, and I think like Doru.
Out of character, Michu.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
Sounds exactly like a paranoia agent character that went insane.
I merely wish to answer your question. I'm afraid I've no interesting information to grant. Other than that, that is how it ended.
It is fun. It is information. It seems as if, unless I'm mistaken, Strahd enjoys testing himself against adventures. It's probably why he let us go last night. He is toying with us. It's also probably why he did not take you. Dangle the hope of straying before snatching it away.
Some beasts like to play with their food. No offense.
Ireena
No offense. Like, I know,
becomes downcast and more downcast at the second remark. Ismark does take the opportunity to say, that is why it is all the more important that we reach Valaki. Once there, turning to his sister, you will be safe.
Have you been here before? Or been there before, not here?
I have not, but I have heard of its fortifications. That and its sheer distance from the Devil Strahd's castle certainly would make her beyond his reach.
I forget, was it mentioned how far away this place was, or no?
Like, decently far.
I will say to him, your optimism is, well, appreciated, perhaps misplaced. In Barovia, no place is outside of Strahd's reach. And I will turn towards Ireena and I will say, in this land, safety is not something you find. It is something you carry with you. You will do well to remember this. And I will point towards her sword handle.
Ireena looks down at her sword handle. She visibly attempts to find words, but cannot. Ismark respectfully disagrees.
Like, I hate this guy.
I must respectfully disagree. Having lived here all my life, I feel I have an accurate sense of the devil's powers. While great, they are not all-encompassing.
how would you have an accurate assessment of his powers? What can you do if you think that's true?
Being a resident of this land, we are all quite familiar with his legend. That, and having borne witness to the evil he has wrought.
No, I think she was asking for a
It
spell list
tells.
specifically by by level. Oh, magic missile? Okay. Does he prepare shield? Like, we probably want to know that before we go.
Yeah.
I'm
Is
just
he a
saying,
big fan
like,
of Wall of Fire? And is that ironic if he is?
I'm not asking for all that. I'm saying,
I know that's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
making the joke. Although how funny would it be if that's exactly what Grant... I want as a list. And if you could give me a rough number on what you think his spell saving
that's
difficulty
your
is.
character's personality trait.
But I wouldn't say it in those terms.
Yeah, I know.
Actually, I'm not even sure it's... Do I know anything about how Strahd fights people?
Probably very short and
Not really.
So I don't
You
know
have
if
an
he has
ass-
magic powers
You have an
other than being a
assortment.
vampire.
You have an assortment of legends and rumors and common knowledge about vampires in general. But it is likely you are not dealing with
Right.
a normal vampire.
He is different from your average black.
No, I'm actually looking at the
That should have got a bigger laugh. Fuck you guys.
He said that he's familiar with the legends and his evil acts. Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Legends are hearsay. Like, there might be some truth to them, but what have you actually seen him do? Last night we saw that he can change this land to night at any time he wishes. What have you seen other than that? Oh, and maybe the ghost thing. I forgot. I didn't really forget, but you know.
It is quite rare to see that thing, the Devil Strahd, in person.
That's my point, though. You say you know what he can do, but that was the first time you've seen him in person?
Yes, but I would reserve judgments until you have seen Vallaki in person. My own words cannot do its fortifications justice.
Alright.
Well, there's no point arguing about it.
The group continues, unmolested, for a few more hours.
Good. Crack always fucking touching on people.
For real. Fucking bird. Fucking
He's trying to burn me, roast me.
Hey, your whole race got the way they are because they couldn't keep their hand off their god and his possessions.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
I know.
You'd think common sense would be like, don't steal from your god. Herp-a-derp, let's do this.
Isn't that exactly what Prometheus did?
Prometheus did it for the benefit of, like, mankind, and he did it on his own. And the whole of the race didn't get cursed because of it. They were like, fuck you, Prometheus. And he was like, it's too late.
He stole it to give it to people. Not
Unlike the previous
I don't know why they
bridge,
can't just stop it. They might have, you know. We're like, hey, you screwed us out right here.
unlike the previous bridge, the next structure that you come across is much more significant. Not being a simple crossing, but a set of wooden gallows.
Are there any animals here?
Huh. There's nothing hanging from the gallows?
It doesn't appear so.
Okay.
Today's question of mine.
As for animals, you don't see any animals immediately, but you can check around.
Well, if there's none near them, then I think it's pretty safe to say that it's not an Animal Crossing.
Probably not.
Okay.
A frayed length of rope dances from the gallows beam. The well-worn road that it sits upon splits here, and a signpost opposite the gallows points off in 3 directions. One towards Barovia village, pointing eastward, where you came.
Okay.
One points northwest and reads Sayre Pool. And there is another that points to the southwest, labeled Ravenloft/Vallaki.
We're heading towards this fucking
It was the
castle.
same direction.
That is outstanding. Okay.
Ismark says, unfortunately, we will pass an entrance, if the map is to be believed. But we will not be approaching the castle proper.
Perhaps there is an alternate route. The Vistani know these lands better than any of us strong. If there is another way, they will know. Whether they tell us or not is another matter, but and that all the more reason to head there.
Well,
Staying away from the castle is our best bet for now.
will going that path lead to the Sani caravan with the madam?
You're currently traveling along the road, which will, in fact, yes.
So taking the one that goes towards Ravenloft / Valaki is towards the Madam?
Yes. They're on the way.
Okay.
He just didn't intend to stop there, but since you guys want to, he will.
Yeah, let's keep going.
He won't fight it.
Good, because you lose. I'm just saying.
The northwest fork slants down and disappears into trees, while the southwest fork clings to an upward slope. Across from the gallows, a low wall, crumbling in places, partially encloses a small plot of graves, shrouded in a light fog.
Grave digging time. We'll say. Is this a graveyard?
Yes. I know not much about this place, but I've passed by it once or twice.
Excellent. This may be the place. Look around for paw prints, and usually large ones.
Oh,
Shoe
yeah.
prints that are unusually heavy. That can be our, and I'll point to the sack of bones we have. This could be the place that they will take it.
Alright.
Uh,
You want us to roll perception for it? Remember we picked up
It
the
makes it
bones?
Oh! You want to lay the
I was-
bodies we've been carrying. Right.
Sure.
Yeah, I wanted to find the graveyard. I know it's a silly side quest I made, but we should return them to the proper burial.
About a shovel,
Please.
if that makes any difference. Even if it's not,
So-
we
so
can still
It'll
bury
definitely
it.
make it smoother.
Sakar got a 20 on his or her check to find any tracks. Basically, look for any indicator that this is the, or you know, also not just tracks, but any like graves that look like they were dug up recently. And if they look like they were dug up recently, we can dig them up, see if the bodies are missing, and if they are, bones.
Because the dirt will be softer than the rest of the graves.
Alright. What about the rest of you?
Yeah, 17. I got a 21.
12.
You are a stupid buttface.
I rolled not
Yes.
I had 7.
Looking around,
What do you want from me?
I had 7.
I'm just saying.
Sakar perches atop an upturned patch of earth that is fairly fresh and hoots. There's a point during the search where Greila finds a similarly disturbed plot at the head of an unmarked gravestone.
Also, I was wrong. Sakar got a 22. If that changes anything, I added the wrong amount.
This time
Yeah,
it does
that's
not.
He only has 3, doesn't he?
Yeah, I rolled a 19.
Crack.
Fuck him.
Finds a black feather upon the ground during his search and spots a disturbed
How
grave,
weird.
but Greila is at the front of it, so perhaps Graila's already seen it.
Are we sure it's not his?
Yeah, clearly I fire blasted him so hard.
Only Crack is sure that it is not his. And Siguror manages to not find any disturbed graves before he spots one that someone else has spotted. However, he does notice that a number of the gravestones here are blank. And taking a second look, finds they are all blank.
Wait, like every last one?
Yes.
Like they're worn,
What?
or they weren't
Who the
like
fuck
chiseled
is-
in?
You're no stonemason, but you feel not chiseled into.
Oh.
So they're just unmarked. They're marked but unregistered.
It's weird that they
graves.
have a gravestone at all then.
Yeah.
Like, you think if they were just unmarked graves, they'd just do the stick thing and,
Yeah.
you know. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is run between the graves and try to find the treasure before Tuco.
Good luck.
I was thinking the same thing.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Oh,
Really?
When they play Ecstasy of Gold,
Yeah.
Tuco's running through the graves, and then, you know, yeah.
I know, I just haven't seen like the end of the movie.
Oh, you should. That
I
was
was
the
close.
best part.
I mean, there's
It
only
is
like
straight
Well,
up
the
the best
copy
part
I
of the movie.
watched stops like right before the ending.
Oh, that's
And I
super
just
lame.
haven't gotten
Because it
around
stops
to it.
at literally the best part
I
of the movie.
have the.
I'm gonna watch the rest.
I have the full one if you want me to just pass it over to you.
That
Then,
like
yes,
6
I
minutes
will.
where they're
No,
just
it's great,
staring at
yeah,
each
no,
other
it's
is
like
one of my
7
favorite parts of
minutes.
my
right
movie.
now, it is not as relevant.
David angelizes all this right.
Perhaps. Perhaps you are right, and perhaps I'm wrong.
In the beginnings, Asia.
There are 2 fresh graves, or rather, freshly disturbed graves. In stark contrast with the rest of the graves in the cemetery, it is pretty unmistakable that these have been messed with recently.
Okay, then I am going to
Oh, we didn't buy any shovels, did we?
no,
I
Greila
brought a
has a
shovel.
shovel, and actually I can get one open.
It's kind of
With my
redundant
detention.
though. He has Smolder.
The first thing I want
We
to do
can
before I
separate.
move any of it is I want to. Well, shovels are useful for other stuff.
Yeah.
I want to look, and I would like to roll medicine, maybe, and see if the graves were disturbed. If there are any like claw marks, or like how they were disturbed. Can I maybe determine how they were disturbed? Basically, is what I'm asking.
Yeah, you can try.
And would that be perception, medicine,
I'll take perception.
perception? Okay, cool. 21. As Sakar gives it a look over.
Siguror gives it a look over, and after a few hops, is able to find a loose, whitish gray nail in the soil, and after a few more hops, some hair follicles.
Do they look like werewolf, or do I need to check for that?
No, you can guess.
Okay. I will say, leave these with the place. Good job. And I will pet Sakar. And then I will say, prepare the bones. And I will not say anything because it has no verbal
We
components,
need
but
to
I will,
separate the bodies.
and then bring the earth up. And I'm basically going to 5 feet at a time. Use my new cantrip, mold earth, to dig up the graves, so that we can put these bones back.
It takes a little bit, but you're able to do so.
Cool.
After molding earth for one and delicately placing bones, and molding earth for another and delicately placing bones, and maybe a little bit of organizational stuff that accompanies that, maybe 20 minutes have passed.
Okay. I think that's worth it. You know, we
You have legs for arms now. No.
we don't have to organize
Yeah.
them. They just need to be in the ground.
Ismark and Ireena mainly watch Ireena. Mainly watch as you do so, keeping to themselves, with a quiet appreciation for what you're doing, having put one of their own in the ground but this morning.
Cool. Yeah, Sasha's feeling pretty good about that. Having, no one's corpse should be dug up.
Once all is said and done, you're able to leave.
That's another guy who went to his home.
Huh?
That's the guy went to his home, right?
Sorry, one more time.
The guy went to his home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't you want to go to your home?
Having
I
laid,
think dwarves invented golf in D&D since they're like the Scott analog.
Possibly.
Probably.
But That being the side there.
I can also see gnomes.
So that means technically mini golf was golf before golf was golf.
No, dwarves made
Dwarves
golf.
are short.
Gnomes made mini golf.
The dwarf is still, they're burly, but they're still 4 feet tall. You would use a mini golf club for that.
as the group leaves, they're forced to pause, as there's a loud creaking sound from behind them.
That's not good.
I roll to disbelieve.
You can roll disbelief. Siguror reaches for a weapon.
And turn around immediately.
What do the other two do?
I'll grab my club and equip my shield, and also
put shillelagh on my club and
Grab my spear. Everyone's grabbing their weapons and I'm just like,
I stepped on a twig.
I'm sorry. I found
You whirl around. Siguror is the first to see it, however. Where there was nothing before, now hangs a lifeless gray body. Her eyes
That's not good.
open wide in anguish, her now faded blonde hair blowing gently in the breeze. The visage of Greila meets you, though at the end of a rope.
Whatever bullshit.
There are sharp intakes of breath, and the slightest smell of rotting flesh that wasn't there before.
I obviously don't think I'm actually hanging from a rope, so I
Have you
want to
ever
roll
just
investigation.
tried? No.
Hanging from a rope, not on my neck.
Just see if you really are.
Very well.
Maybe
Greila
just-
approaches. Ismark remarks, "What sorcery is this?"
Don't know.
Might just be sorcery at that.
Trembled. It says nothing.
Shit. I got an 8, so I probably don't see through the fact that it's.
Actually, try and not scour, but scan the area, see if there's anybody that looks like they're trying to hide.
You attempt to scour the area. Greila approaches. Greila begins to inspect and starts finding rather bizarre things. The body is, say, a normal body, but doesn't have your proportions. And in fact, after like moving down the leg and finding some brown hair that is certainly not supposed to be there, Greila takes a step back and finds that she is now confronted with the body of a man, middle-aged, bald. After scanning the area real quick, Siguror looks back and finds that the body has changed.
Well,
Nobody
certainly
recognizable.
isn't me, so.
No.
Okay.
can I roll an intelligence check of some kind? Some intelligence saving to maybe figure out what this is? Or possibly investigation?
Sure.
Okay. This is a skill check, then I got a 16. If it's just an intelligence ability check, I got a 14.
God, they hung a changeling.
Deciding to see what the fuss is about, and having heard one of his companion's footsteps, Sasha enlists Siguror to fly over and see what's up. Only to hear Siguror start flapping his arms because I got it wrong. He then decides that Sakar would be a better choice and says Sakar. Sakar flies, and after maybe a minute, he hears Sakar let out an excited but also perhaps a little fearful hoot and like start flapping its wings more strongly. Everyone else sees Sakar fly up, and when it gets like to the point where it can like get up close to the body, it suddenly just whooshes down into ash and then blows away.
Huh.
That's weird.
This is a strange land indeed, I'll say. Let's get the
When
Get out of
Sakar
here.
when Sakar returns and like huddles against Sasha, he like gets like a whiff of like some particles of ash.
Huh. Then I don't know what that is. Some sort of...
I hope you know what ash
Like
is.
some kind of dust.
No. My intelligence check from earlier. I don't know if it was maybe...
We'll investigate.
Okay, fine, investigation. So it disappeared before I could investigate it, basically?
As it was being inspected.
Okay. Well, then, yeah, I don't know. You missed, so I think to play tricks on this. Let this Harry alone.
I must agree.
Seems like this would be the playground of a man like Loki.
He's trying to be in character here.
Oh,
Well, not trying to
shrug.
be. He's referencing his gods.
Well, I mean,
They're
you
inferior
worship
fucking
Tyr,
gods.
so you might know of Loki.
Well, I have really strong into religion, so I have a lot of gods, but besides the point.
The group moves on, and for a while, all becomes quiet again. A distant skittering of feet through the woods, furry, clawed, the distant caw of ravens. It is the wild. Cold and dark, but the wild nonetheless. Before long, you see a fork in the road. It's coming up rather quickly.
Alright.
However, 20 feet shy of this fork, twisted beings emerge from the sides of the road. They are thorny and twig-like in consistency, though their hunched forms stand at least 3 feet tall. They very quickly move from behind you as well, and soon you are surrounded. I will need initiative.
Sure.
Huh.
I got as
Should
mediocre
grab
as
patches.
you can possibly get.
Alright.
Yeah. That's better.
Can't wait till 5? 7? For advantage on initiative?
Then it is the enemy's turn first.
Damn.
Well, we got 19. Plus, stuff.
Whatever there, yeah.
One of the twisted wooden creatures marches forward and attempts to rake Crack with its woody hands.
I was doing the music right until you got it. Because it's like Woody.
And succeeds,
Mm.
inflicting 3 damage worth of pain upon Crack.
How much damage you say again?
3. However, Crack is immediately granted the ability to avenge this slight, as it is his turn.
I bought a signal whistle for everybody, including the 2 characters we're traveling with, to blow if they're in danger and we're not around. Or not visibly in sight.
Well, you're visibly in sight right now.
I know, I'm just saying, like if someone goes to take a leak and you get attacked, they can be like,
I see.
can I go in the green or what?
You could. They're like, that's tree cover.
There's also the forest. We don't really want to.
Did you want to hide?
I was just wanting to. I think that's when we have to move
Yeah,
in
you-
my place.
Wouldn't really be able to get advantage for repositioning.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about in the future. I can move.
I hadn't considered
And
that.
someone can move there and get it there.
So I think he's asking, does he have enough movement to move here?
No, he's just saying, thinking about positioning for later.
Well, I'm thinking about doing it actually now. So.
You would like to advance to the other side of the enemy?
Yeah.
can't ready the action, like attack action, to let him get in place enough for that. Yeah.
I think you can, but you can also attack right now.
Yeah, good.
If you ready the action, you'll get your martial arts follow.
For all attack. I assume a fucking 8 misses from that one.
That is unfortunately a miss.
Alright, like this. I assume an 11 doesn't hit either.
It comes a little closer, but no, it's not. You lash out with blade, fist. Of course, the man can.
So I'm gonna keep on.
Alright. Another one steps forward. This time aggressing at Siguror.
15. Make it harder.
It most certainly does. It lashes out, but does not find purchase. An enemy advances and aggresses Ismark.
You know, I also thought, since we're escorting them, they probably shouldn't be in the back.
I would have moved it.
They're a strong, capable warrior.
Lashes out
Should be fine.
and inflicts damage to Ismark, scraping and scratching across his left thigh. It then becomes both Sasha and Graila's turns.
Okay. I would like to start my action by casting a firebolt at this one. Also, I got a 12 on my knowledge check. Figure out what this thing is. I don't know what it is.
I believe you're dealing with needle blights.
Do I know what the weak do?
Twisted woodland figures. You can't recall if they're weak to anything.
Okay. Then I'm just guessing. Alright.
They implant things.
If I don't know the weak to fire, because I assume the weak parts of this is
Or would they really be significantly different?
well, needle blights might not be weak to fire. Sasha, with his hands together, scramble mystic energy, and then one hand after the other, summon forth bolts of energy as he incants Incertis Holga Imperio. And he will fire 2 magic missiles at this one and a magic missile at that one. Or if you want me to say that will action another way, I cast magic missile.
I missed it. It was 2 to which and 1 to which?
2 to this one, 1 to that one.
Alright.
Hopefully they don't have. One of them takes. This one takes 7 force. Or, yes. This one takes 2 force.
Arcane darts assail both of these woodland creatures of the nefarious kind. They are harmed. This in particular, harmed significantly. Pieces of bramble and twig blast off and go scrambling across the floor of the road.
Okay.
Metaphorically speaking.
But still stands its ground.
It does, though it appears greatly diminished.
Okay.
And for the rest of my turn, I'm going to.
He then utilizes Siguror, I'm assuming, to
Yeah.
make the best guess as to where he should stand. He put himself in harm's way over the lady that they escort.
Actually, instead, well, I mean, no, actually, Siguror's going to prepare an action to help Crack. And I am, or you know what? No, Siguror will prepare an action to assist Greila on attacking this one, I'm assuming.
Which is
Yeah.
on the next attack.
And then you can both their actions, so. Sorry. I hope you're getting issues messing with my head. Everything feels like fog, I swear to God. Siguror will send here to prepare a action to attempt to help Siguror attack this one. I will move in the way by like touching Ireena on the shoulder and basically moving past her. I'm not going to push her behind me because I can't. It's not a mechanic. But basically, I'm like pulling myself over.
I also think you have strength to use.
Shut up.
You could still pull someone with 7 strength if they're on expectation.
Yeah, I've had small children pull me into like.
Get out, kid.
Get off me, child!
Then tell me, what will Greila do?
I will flank that one and attack him with my club.
Very well.
No.
Yeah,
Oh. I didn't ask, I was guessing.
I'm trying to finish off the ones attacking more people.
Like you wanted to be here?
Yeah.
The ones we have been charged with.
One's been listed your help.
Okay.
Technically, we were kind of charged by the mother.
22 to hit,
That is it.
11 for damage.
Nice. I love how you do way more with enhancement than I do with missiles.
Oh. It's a buff.
Greila lashes out and dashes the creature to pieces.
Can you imagine if worms had a damage tied to them that went along with their spells?
What are you?
Don't smash it.
I'm not looking at it. Who isn't smashing
Well, I'm just saying, if he's struggling with it, it might be smashed.
The last of the thorny creatures goes.
it? At least I can
Attacking.
kick him in the face over it.
Oh, I thought I was stomping on the head.
You're telling me.
When you stomp on his head over a bag of pretzels,
You did that.
he's lying.
I am not lying.
Lashing out at
I like my pretzels.
Tashi.
Okay, no, that he gets advantage on this because I cannot see.
That is fair. I had forgotten.
If somebody rolls twice and you use one of your portents, is it the one they choose to take, or is it you have to pick one
He
of their rolls?
chooses.
Oh.
He chooses one of their rolls.
Sorry,
You don't have any
that
chance.
roll that you just got,
Yeah.
that was a 15?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna use one of my lucky rerolls to make him reroll that. And this ignores advantage, so if what he rolls now is worse, he doesn't get either. Come on! 6! And my AC's 12, so unless he has a +6, I should be good.
He does not. Fate is altered and Sasha's flesh is spared, but this time
Okay, that puts me down 2 luckies, because I also rolled 1 to,
it is now Siguror's.
I also used 1 to get my initiative up from a 1, which is what I rolled originally.
Ah!
Yeah.
Alright, can you still two-hand a weapon when wielding a shield? No? Damn. Alright, then his damage goes down a bit. Alright. Activate Rage and hack and slash this one.
Very well.
He's actively slashing.
You fly into a rage and attack the spindly creature before you.
Sounds cool. Sounds like advanced twin lights.
Doesn't it? Or,
These are not ordinary twin lights.
no, these ones are like twig lights. They explode if you hit them with fire.
Oh my god, did you
One might
come
even call
all the
them
way-
advanced triplets.
25 to hit.
That is it.
Okay. And roll a d8 for damage instead. No. 11 for damage.
Alright. Siguror swings out with furious anger and strikes down.
Okay, I will then take 5-foot step for movement. Over here, solid enemy.
Correct. Advantage.
Yep.
Very well. It then comes back around to where it began. This, the most hated enemy, regards its new aggressor and turns, lashing out in bestial response.
Sure seems like the fucking main foe of mankind.
However, its brambly touch does not harm Siguror. It then becomes Crack's turn.
Roll with advantage on your shield.
It's 24.
That is it.
D8 plus 4. 6. Yeah.
The creature is slashed for 6.
Hit. That's 4. 6. And that is a advantage. Oh yeah, right. So, 16.
That's a hit.
6 damage.
Let's go posture. Sounds like foolish shit.
The enemy is first slashed and then pounded. This is proving too much
Is it
for its frame.
Oh.
As it is burst,
Oh, I didn't even have to spell.
leaving but one foe before you.
Oh, wait.
One enemy.
But before it can go, both Sasha and Greila have things to say about it.
Oh,
Alright.
That was a 17 hit.
It does.
Okay. 3 damage.
What are you hitting with?
I will pull out my dagger and stab it in the head.
Sasha pulls out his dagger and stabs whereabouts he believes the head to be. And
Uses
isn't
a card.
Sakar helping somebody else right now?
no,
it's
it's his turn.
Yeah, so Sakar's uses
Finding its head but barely and bearing the knife within its head, it howls and hisses. It does not quite yet fall.
Well, obviously I'm gonna move up behind it. Give myself advantage and whack it with my bow. 25 to hit,
That's it.
10 for damage.
This thrashing proves to be the creature's demise, as its brambly bits are scattered and it is defeated.
Good to hit.
fucking pity candy.
It's not
Fuck
pity
outta here.
candy. You
Get outta
should have
here.
killed it.
Get out of here!
That's even worse!
No.
It's not pity candy. You should have killed it.
It's not pity candy. I feel like I'm stealing his kill.
Eat the goddamn
Oh
snakes.
my god, man. I didn't want to steal your kill. That's why I wanted you to go first so you would kill it
It's
yourself.
fine, it's fine. There'll be other things.
Once the fighting has fallen quiet, you have a moment to resteady yourselves. Ismark gesturing to the fork ahead.
How much damage did they take? Ismar got hit, didn't he?
Yes.
Take like 3 to his leg, I think.
I didn't pronounce how much damage he took, but he did take 3.
I'll use my lay on hands to heal him. He's only NPC that took damage, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm required to take damage.
He looks
How much we
Nice.
take?
Great.
quite a wonder.
Read shit out loud, bitch.
I have heard, but I have not seen such. Thank you.
It's only 3 fucking
He's
things.
thanking you in there.
You're welcome. It's something my race can do, a natural talent, you might say.
You were quite fortunate.
It's a blessing of an ancient pact with celestial beings.
Quite big times. But the two of you are alright?
He nods, yes, and she nods. I think so. It was a little frightening, but I've heard stories.
Yes, well,
I doubt these will be the most frightening things we come across.
next time you might wish to be more proactive in your own defense. We will not always be here to help you.
Dang!
Right.
Be more useful.
He didn't say be more useful, he said defend yourself.
It was
Yeah.
a much more. It was much more tactful, though definitely a diss.
Not really.
She needs to get her shit together.
She didn't get hit,
She's not
he was
gonna-
the one who got hit.
She also. They also
Did she not fight?
Yeah, she didn't act on her turn.
Oh,
He didn't
okay.
either. That's what he said. You know, actively defend yourself.
Ismark,
They should take the dog then, so it's not going to attack them. At least.
somewhat guiltily, points to the crossing that you are coming to and says, "You had expressed interest in seeing the madam. I believe that is the road that you were looking for."
Yes.
I assume you're coming with us, not going to be out here by yourself.
We will follow behind, but yes.
Perhaps not all the way behind from now on, lest we be attacked in the back again. And actually, if at all possible, I would like to switch, since we're going to the Vistani encampment, I would like to switch places with Crack. That way, so they'll see me coming and maybe be a little less like, who the fuck are those guys?
Sasha takes the lead for his own reasons, lest he divulge his strategy to the group.
If you ask why I trade places, I'll explain. But if you're just like, whatever. Okay.
The way is clear for now, and you may tread the path less traveled, or at least that's what it looks like from the underbrush.
But David, we could have gone down the other path. I'm paralyzed with decision regret or the choice paralysis. I think it's called.
Yeah, maybe we can.
Paralyzed with choice paralysis. Robert Frost was right.
Right or wrong, his lessons will be reflected on as you approach the camp, which will be after the break. You return to the path, if only to stray from it. Heading in the direction of those that you seek, the road gradually disappears and is replaced by a twisted, muddy path through the trees. Deep ruts in the earth are evidence of the coming and goings of wagons. The canopy of mist and branches suddenly gives way to black clouds boiling far above. There is a clearing here, as you travel, and is next to a river that widens to form a small lake several hundred feet across. 5 colorful round tents, each 10 feet in diameter, are pitched outside a ring of 4 barrel-topped wagons. A much larger tent stands near the shore of the lake, its sagging form lit from within. Near this tent, 8 unbridled horses drink from the river. The mournful strains of an accordion clash with the singing of several brightly clad figures around a bonfire. A path continues beyond this encampment, meandering north between the river and the forest's edge. There are a few men, brightly colored and similar look to your companion. Physical, not clothing-wise, as they are not robed, or they look very wizardly. That look upon you as you approach, but do not move to stop you.
I will move in, using Sikar's. I will take over Sikar's senses to get a kind of lay of the area, and I will approach. I don't know, whoever looks the most inviting, I guess, to talk to. Whoever looks at us the least weird. Or looks like they're in charge.
Following.
You encounter the first before you encounter the last. There's one, a young woman who is walking towards the fire that I mentioned, who spots and takes it upon herself to walk half of the distance to you, so there's still maybe 10 feet of distance between you and her, as she gestures, "Ah, travelers, come! You must sit by the fire and warm yourselves."
I will not. As we walk closer, I will say to her, and what's her title again? The lady we're here to see?
The Madam.
It is Madam Ava, to refer to her by name, or the Madam if you want to be a little more distant.
Okay. Say, my companions and I have come seeking Eva. We need her guidance.
Oh. Well, I suppose I should figure, given the company that you're with, all travelers, I take it, new to the lands, wishing to have your fates divined.
A particular fate, actually.
Very intriguing. Perhaps we should skip the fire. Right this way?
I'll
You look new. Have we simply not crossed paths before?
I have not been home in a long time. Our character, not from this encampment, right?
No, you don't think so.
Yeah. Our character, I would know. I'll say, I do not believe you in that.
Then, should we be so lucky, or should you linger? I am Terrania.
Well met, Ireena. I am Sasha.
Well met in return, Sasha.
And I will point to the others. I will say, this is Siguror, Kraken, and Greila Austarian, a cleric.
They did come. Ismark and Ireena
right.
did come into the camp with us, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also,
By back, they more mean like they'll be towards the back of your group.
Then I will
Okay.
also say this is Ismark and Ireena.
Ah.
Ireena here is the one who needs her fates divided.
She looks down as your newest companion, the woman you're talking to, says, I would imagine it would be quite interesting indeed. And I know of this. Ismark the Lesser, correct? Ismark
Mother.
Ismark says, Ismark will be just fine. She nods. Yes, of course.
It's
so
It's a
fucking
title. It's a
rude.
nickname. It's a title that
Look,
somebody made. And it's spread
Ismark
like wow.
Jr. is much less offensive than fucking Ismark the Lesser. Ismark the Lesser is like, you're not as good as your father. You can
Well,
shit.
that's because we know what it entails. It could be. Other people could think it's from something
I'm
else.
pretty
some
sure
other
they
tale.
all know what it
Sure.
entails. Than
Well,
being
you're
assholes.
fair out of character. You didn't really do that much in the fight.
You are walked
So
across the clearing reflecting on the potentially cruel hailing of one of your companions.
Right.
Before long, you are led to the tent. The woman says, "Now, please do not hesitate. Go inside."
Yeah, let's.
I see
Are people supposed to go in all at once or like one at a time? Do I know this?
You don't know. But when she motions, she like uses both of her arms.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Then
Please
I
go.
will head inside first. What time of day is it?
It is currently like
Half
midday.
past overcast.
Midday, maybe a little farther.
Midday? Okay. Alright. When I enter, what do I see? Well, I will be actively, while we're here, I'm going to be actively taking over circumcision every turn.
Okay. You enter. However, Sasha enters first.
Yeah.
What meets you all, is a reddish glow cast by magic flames within the interior of the tent. Said flames revealing a low table covered in a black velvet cloth. Glints of light seem to flash from a crystal ball on the table as a hunched figure peers into its depths. As the crone speaks, her voice crackles like dry weeds. "At last you have arrived!" Cackling laughter bursts like words I could speak, and lightning from her withered lips. Yes. The mighty warrior from afar, Siguror, who conquered, I believe it was Esther the Great. Crack from dishonored kingdoms far. Crossing of the Baron's wife. And Greila, stalwart champion and slayer of the imps. And of course,
This was a great title. I killed a bunch of imps.
and of course, Sasha, learned student of the Mage of Loft Tower and seeker of vengeance.
I would prefer justice. But vengeance will be fine in the meantime.
I'm gonna look questioningly at these. Well, mostly at him because it said something about the Baron's wife. Do I think he porked her? Actually,
What?
Or what did he do? What'd she say about him again? Crack something. Oh, he stole her or something, right?
It's, you didn't quite catch it. Being a little off-put with her referencing something from your own past, and with surprising clarity, you have even less time to think about it as she produces a well-worn deck of cards. I know why you've come. You seek knowledge of the future. While there is little I can offer you in ways of safety, I can offer you chance for survival. Now, if you would humor an old woman, I will offer you. Dare you know what fate stretches before you?
I dare.
I mean, that's why we're here.
However, before we get our fortunes, we have another. Her fortune is in most dire need of reading.
Oh. Hers and yours will function one and the same.
She's gonna read the group's fortune, not individuals.
Is she gonna kill Strahd or am I gonna die to Strahd?
You can think that.
That's what I'm taking from it.
Ireena says nothing. Ismark looks on with quiet fascination. She splits the cards and places them down. Then, almost feigning concentration, for her movements are too skilled for it to be anything else, she draws. The flames within the room quiver as she extends her bony hand and as she reveals, card by card, the group's fate. She reaches out, drawing a card. She places it and repeats the measure. Again, but once more. She pauses, laying her finger in the middle, in the valley that the cards have created, and regards the first. Yes. That which you seek lies in the tomb of darkness, the devil's lair, the one place to which he must return. She then moves over the second card, the peak of the three. A woman hangs above a roaring fire. Find her, and you will find the treasure. The necessity of your journey, should you twist with the Dark One, as you will twist with him. She moves to the third card. You would also do well to look for a fortress inside a fortress, in a place hidden behind fire. These are the clues to your hope and the lady's salvation. Should you unravel them, you may find yet tools that will aid you. And what's more, she draws from the second deck and places down yet another card. You would do well to look for an entertaining man. A man with a monkey, who is more than he seems.
Okay, wait, that's oddly specific, not really vague, alright.
He shall be your stalwart companion. Monkey?
A man
A fifth and final card down, remarking, these treasures, this man, whether or not they join you, you shall be confronted. It is inevitable by the beast as he sits on his dark throne. Your battle shall take place nowhere else, not in earnest.
So he'll wait for us in Castle Ravenloft.
We'll fight him. We could fight him in other places outside of his castle, but it won't be the final fight.
Serious.
Can I roll Arcana to attempt to decipher what she's saying into more, at least to Sasha, more understandable terms?
I'm not sure how Arcana would help.
Well, is there any skill that can be used for fortune-telling interpretation?
No.
I figured Arcana because fortune telling is magic, so I thought. Maybe.
Yeah, alright, you can try.
Definitely that. There we go. Using my last lucky, I got a 26 on my Arcana check to attempt to discern what these could mean, or as they apply to, you know.
You assume she is talking to a man with a monkey. It must be the man with the yellow hat, the monkey named George. You've seen before.
That's what I was going to say.
Seen before.
Sasha does his best to ponder these cryptic hints. However, he does run into a slight obstacle. In that, while he knows this land, he does not know it perhaps thoroughly through and through, having left when he was younger. So it is possible that some of the meanings are hidden inside the lay of the land themselves, or will perhaps present themselves at the appropriate time. But that doesn't mean that he can't narrow it down a little.
Okay.
For his efforts, he believes that the first hint for the first object that might aid them, perhaps a tomb of darkness. Well, actually, you didn't even need to know. A tomb of darkness, the devil's lair. Strahd is called a devil in myth.
Right.
Perhaps it lays within.
There's a great treasure that will help us in his castle.
In fact, like
Something.
Probably in his tomb.
Get him while he's sleeping in his coffin.
that is where, but one of the tools should lie. Given the second hint that you received, referring to a woman who hangs above a roaring fire, there's a particular patterning in this hint that, through your own knowledge of divination, suggests that this is likely a metaphorical woman, and not a literal one.
Okay.
Hanging? Maybe?
Possibly.
Now, where you might find a painting above a fire, could be in a number of places.
Well, okay. But that's a place on the start. I can figure out the rest later. I mean, that's why I have
It
investigation.
may not be a painting, it could be like a bust or a statue.
Now,
Or something that refers to a woman in a fire.
as for
Like a
looking
place.
for a fortress inside a fortress, a place hidden behind fire,
I need to find exhibit.
perhaps you need to find exhibit.
Your dog. You heard I like fortress. Put a fortress in the fortress.
However, barring finding exhibit, you feel there's patterning in here that again suggests that part of this is metaphorical,
Right.
though because there are three sources, perhaps the fire is the one that is metaphorical.
Right.
Fortress within a fortress is reminiscent of other spell passages that have fun with wordplay and much less with metaphor, so that part might be more, or that part you believe is more accurate than not.
So fortress within a fortress.
Perhaps the second fortress is not metaphorical, but less literal.
Castle hidden within a castle beneath the fire that the woman is hanging.
Well, it could mean like a hidden place within a castle or a fortress.
Very likely so.
Yeah.
The passage
Now,
about
Sorry, to make double clear, it said a fortress within a fortress, or does it say a fortress within the fortress?
a fortress inside a fortress.
Okay, alright. Because if it was the fortress, I would assume that the castle is unlocked. However, it says a fortress, so
There
it could
be
mean
a number.
Valakia. I mean, people keep talking about how like it's very well defended, right?
A veritable
Yeah,
fortress.
Yeah. I mean, the guy referred to it as a fortress. That means
I don't know if he
one thing we look for could be Valakia. Okay.
Hmm.
The passage about a potential ally in your struggle
It's not
With
really.
the
That seems obvious. Like,
Not
walk
really
up to the
vague.
first guy with the monkey. And
Leaves
be like,
little to be desired.
But he also has to be an entertaining companion.
How many entertaining people? How many
Entertaining people with a monkey.
How many non-entertaining people with a monkey do you think we're gonna run
Yeah,
into?
you think we're gonna run into Ross Geller around here?
An entertaining
No.
man, but also a man that is more than he seems.
Right.
And has a monkey.
Which may perhaps be the trick.
Maybe it's Michael Jackson. He had a monkey.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, follows.
And the last hint, as far as Sasha is concerned, of where the final battle will take place, that will decide the fate of you and all that are attached to you,
I think that
is
was
likely to be
pretty
taken
clear.
literally.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Well, no, that's good. That means that if we're pretty sure Strahd will be waiting for us in his throne room, that gives us less of a chance of, because of running into him while we're going through the castle. So that's good.
Will imply the
And in
final.
fact, that's even better. Well, I mean,
It implied the final battle.
I know, but I'm saying, obviously he can attack us at any time, but I mean, when we go to the castle to fight him, he will probably wait for us in the castle, or in the throne room, which is good, because it said one of the treasures is probably within his coffin, at least that's what Sasha thinks. So,
Or his
that's Saul.
tomb, I guess they keep their coffin in.
Whatever, wherever he sleeps,
Right.
is probably an item we need to defeat him.
Maybe.
So, well, I'm saying this is
Yeah.
what Sasha's
Yeah.
thinking. Alright, cool.
What was the fortune lady's name?
Madam.
Ava.
Oh, Madam Ava. Okay.
I will say.
Hmm.
Thank you.
It is a simple duty, awaiting those and showing them to their fates. Though make no mistake, knowing one's fate does not guarantee protection against one's doom.
I will not.
This is all you need. Any more would likely cloud what lay before you.
I'll lie again. Yeah, unless she has anything else left to tell us or say, I will thank her. I will head bow, basically. Is there a particular formal way of saying goodbye that the Vistani have that I know of?
Yes.
Okay,
And
then
you're
I will
able to
do
do
that. If it is anything like actual Ruska realm, that probably involves some amount of hand kissing, stuff like that. It's what
Maybe a bit.
It's really weird the first time I saw people do that to my grandma, and I was like,
Yeah.
I was like 6, and I was like, why is everyone? This is
Yeah.
weird. Is this The Godfather? It's my grandma, the Godfather. Name's Tanya Corleone. That sounds kind of cool, actually.
It sounds like a mob boss
Yeah,
name.
it kind of does. A little bit.
Mother, sorry, what did you say the last name was?
Corleone.
Mother Corleone. There you go.
Yeah. Probably have you shot in the fucking car. Yeah, I will turn and leave, and I will. After that, I will say to the others once we've stepped outside.
Which the group does.
I believe I have learned much, at least. I'm not so sure about the second and the third reading, but I believe the first hints that something we need to defeat Strahd is within his tomb, within the castle. I'm not sure about a fortress within a fortress or a woman in fire, but I will attempt to figure those out. This man, if we see him, or actually, I'll change that too. I believe the fortress within a fortress could be Vallaki. As for the woman in the fire, I do not know. However,
Above.
this
Hanging above a fire.
woman above a fire, I do not know. I will have to look. But I believe that if we find a man matching the description of this monkey carrying, entertaining man, we should speak to him. Is that an in-character laugh?
I guess.
More, I'm
I'll
Is it?
slightly surprised
I
that
will
it.
say. So, you did not find the auguries that your god sent you so ridiculous, but a
No.
woman playing cards. That's too
That's-
silly.
No, that's not silly. The man with the monkey is what's making me laugh, not the telling that we just got. I mean,
That is
how
good.
common of a sight is a man with a monkey?
All the better. Would you prefer the key to our salvation be a completely normal-looking man? We would never find him.
No.
In this land, maybe.
So, our character, she
Hmm.
gives fortune telling for free.
Yeah, she said it was a duty while we were in there.
And she
Out of
did not ask
character.
your cost when you entered.
And out of character, I know that's how the Vistani operate, right? They have to give the sight to people. Yeah, it's something. If you bring up in character,
Or rather than choose.
Sasha will say, it is the duty of all seers to share their knowledge with the world.
I'll plan on bringing it up somehow in character, but considering that I'm a fucking kinky, I can't.
In the meantime, we should see about finding a path around the castle Ravenloft to get to Valakia unmolested. Additionally, on the way in, Sakar saw some horses. Perhaps we might be able to buy some. The Vistani trade.
Maybe. I still don't know from a character.
Well,
Trained horses aren't particularly cheap.
we might be able to arrange something.
And untrained horses can be more of a danger than.
They're for transportation.
Yeah,
We're not
going to
fighting.
battle with them. Also,
That's in character.
Yeah,
and
we're not trying to fight on the horses.
it's more like this is a scary place. Anything spooks the person, somebody can just die.
yeah, but the
They're
horses
riding a
were
horse.
raised here, right? They're probably more used to it.
Worth a shot.
I don't know. You were. They were probably raised here, but a werewolf probably scares them just the same.
Well, it's a predator, so
Yeah, a predator's still gonna spook a horse, but I'd rather get there faster, if at all possible. With that being said,
I can afford a pony.
You could also afford a
well,
donkey.
assuming it's gonna be at the same price. Greila, you and Siguror go see about the horses. Is there anything else? Actually, I will say, Greila, go see about the horses. And Crack and Sigurd, perhaps you should stay with these two, and I will motion towards Ireena and
Ismark.
Ismark, thank you. And I will go see about getting a guide.
All right.
Okay.
Other than me, I don't have to do shit.
I'll go
I
hire
figure you're probably gonna
horses.
freak people out more.
There is the bonfire, which there are people sitting around, talking and chatting. There are some wagons, and apart from that, you don't see a whole lot of people out and about.
Probably Usher them.
I don't see anyone near the horses, like tending to them or anything.
Not at the moment.
I'll approach the group at the bonfire and say, is it possible for me to inquire about the price of the horses or maybe renting them?
One turns. Oh, hey! It's a young man with a black goatee. Ah,
It's not that
You're
far
new,
from the inn.
my lady. You're new. Please sit. Come. Certainly you must be tired if you found your way here.
I'm more in a hurry. I was really just wondering about the
Oh,
horse.
no hurry. Come. Why hurry? This place certainly isn't going anywhere.
This place might not be going anywhere, but I am going somewhere. That's why I'm here to inquire about the horses.
Ah, you're no fun. And perhaps you asked about horses?
Yes.
Perhaps I'd be more open to discussing horses if maybe you had stayed a while and chatted.
Is there someone else I can talk to that's more accommodating than you?
Wow.
No
you're
people
right.
skills.
Is this guy trying to hit on
I
me?
suppose.
Or am I just being rude? Like, is he... What kind of feeling am I getting off this guy? What kind of vibes am I getting, David? Is he...
That would be
Well, I don't know. What are you getting?
insight.
Alright, I'm gonna roll insight, David. You tell me if this guy's a skeezy fuck.
Could also just be super friendly.
17. Is he a skeezy?
You feel that he has some ulterior motives, though what exactly they are...
Is there another group of people around here? You said there's some people walking around tents.
You see like somebody coming out of a tent, like as you're like looking around. And as
I'm
he's
gonna
saying,
waylay them. I know
I
it's
suppose.
rude. It's not very nice, but I'm gonna walk up to him and ask him
Just without excusing
without
yourself.
excusing myself.
Or you hear like a call, hey! He turns.
This is
You
fantastic.
you march towards a barrel-chested man with a thick black beard, who has a fairly large sword on his hip, tied with like a sash to his belt. And he like turns and he looks, but he doesn't like shy away or anything.
Yeah. I was wondering who I would speak to about maybe purchasing a horse from this settlement.
And who exactly might be asking?
Well, myself and my companions, some of them are maybe more familiar with your customs than I am, but
He
I'm the
looks
one that
over.
went.
When you say companions, he like looks over. Travelers.
Yes.
He gives you a hard analyzing look before responding. You two were staying with. Yeah,
Is
there's.
Mark
Yeah,
there?
probably gonna. I assume there's like a bunch of people around the fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably usher them over there.
And you, for a
I'm
reminder,
looking
were.
for someone who can possibly guide us around Castle Ravenloft.
Is
A
he-
safer alternative path.
Is he
basically.
visible though? Because when
He is, but he has started a conversation with the
Um,
woman from before.
when I say my companions, I'll gesture towards him
As well.
as well as the other group of Minotaur Bird and 2 people.
When you first are looking for someone, the woman from before finds you again. So helpful? Yes, of course. I mean,
Yes, very,
course.
very helpful. But I was wondering if you could help me now. I am searching for a guide, someone who knows this area and the lands between here and Valaki rather well. We are hoping to get there without straying too close to Castle Ravenloft.
Oh, a guide.
Understand? We don't necessarily need someone to travel with us the entire way there, but we have this map, and if you know of anyone who can mark a alternative trail, one that is safer.
She looks and says, "Oh, I'm gonna see what the problem would be. As long as you accompany them, and the master doesn't require your presence, then it shouldn't be that big of a deal."
It is not the master I am concerned with. It is the master's somewhat overzealous at times servants. And we have been waylaid on the road more than once. I would hope to avoid this.
I take it. Concern for your friends.
Yes.
What exactly is the nature between you and them? I thought maybe you were their tour guide, but it doesn't sound to be the case.
I am not. I am just traveling home after a long time of being abroad.
Well, it's unfortunate that you did not have people to greet you. Did you not send word in advance to your camp?
My camp no longer exists.
Oh. Well, I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yes. Your sympathy is appreciated.
I'm not sure if a guide would help you as far as course. There's not but woods around the area.
Well, if that is the case, thank you for your help.
Kind of just a straight path there.
Not a problem. If you should feel like cutting through the woods, then perhaps. Outside of that, I can't really think of anything.
Was there a safe, as far as can be, path through the woods that the guide might know?
None of us. We mostly stick to the roads.
Do you know of a Barodian who, perhaps a hunter, who might know of a path? As dangerous as the woods are, people still need to eat.
I know of a few hunters, but they do not live in Barovia. They actually live in Villaki. A little ways from here.
Well, that is where we are attempting to go. By the time we get there, we will not need the guide.
Right. You'll pass the gates before then.
Yes, yes.
The gates, like the first gate we came across coming to this land.
Then I will say, well, thank you.
Sure. Is there anything else that could perhaps be of help with? Perhaps you and your friends are tired and wish to rest?
We've only been traveling for a couple hours, right?
Like 3.5, 4.
I mean, to be fair, we also might not have gotten a lot of sleep in the
Looking
church.
at the map, how far would we be able to reach Villaki before nightfall?
No.
Okay.
How
If
many?
we rested until dawn, would we be able to reach Villaki before nightfall then?
No. It's like days away.
You said it was
Okay.
like, how many days?
On the map, where's the closest like rest that isn't along the road that we can reach?
On the map,
Yeah.
there is this is technically you checking.
Right.
Just to be clear. The next
Nevermore
thing,
have I wanted cartographer's tools.
the next thing that is marked on the map is a windmill.
Okay, is the windmill reachable before nightfall at our current pace?
Unfortunately not.
If we left it down the next day, would the windmill be reachable before nightfall?
No. It'd take a couple days.
Would we be
So,
able to
to
get
my
there
knowledge,
if
there's
we had horses?
No place we could get to in like a day's worth of travel that would let us not have to sleep out in the open.
Well, I mean, if we had horses, it might. Because we don't know that we don't have access to horses yet.
Well, I was thinking with horses, but so the same problem, but in reverse.
Well, I mean, do any of those change if we had horses? Because I assume walking, yeah, that's
Yes, but only slightly. Instead of it taking like a couple days to reach the windmill with like horses, it might be like a day, but that's still not. It still involves you guys sleeping on the road.
Okay.
To your knowledge, not really.
Alright.
Defensive supplies then?
Yeah, I mean, we already have stuff if you guys want more stuff.
Well,
And,
say we could actually make a small encampment whenever we make camp.
That would take
Spikes
hours.
and shit in the ground.
that would add extra out. That would add basically like a whole other day to our travel. Just the amount of time it takes to set up encampment stuff. Also, it makes our encampment more obvious, and I think stealth is probably better than. spikes. But I mean,
No. If you keep casting mold earth, you can make quite a few pitfall traps.
You
Yeah.
yeah, but
talking
it's possible.
to the man who looks travelers. We do not trade with travelers. There is a town back the way you came. Barovia. Perhaps you can purchase horses there.
We came from there. Yeah. I don't believe there are any horses to buy.
Town seems pretty bad off.
There's nothing else that we can do for you then. We are not in the style of marketing our horses.
What? Yes.
Alright. If there's no one I could talk to that might have more than he needs, that would be willing to trade or rent us a horse. A kind of persuasion.
You can, but he also starts thinking about something.
Does 23. I got 23.
Well, there may be someone who can do something.
Could you direct me to that person or give me a name, perhaps?
I will escort you.
It's
That
just
would be
that man with the goatee.
He starts
Really help that
walking. He walks over to one of the tents or one of the wagons and bangs on the door and remarks or calls in, "Hey, open up! Someone's looking for some horses." And you hear a muffle from within. "Then tell them to piss."
I'll call out, if I piss, will you give me the horses?
There's silence. And there are footsteps. And then the door opens, revealing a well-built, but still a little, maybe lighter framed man within, who looks upon you and says, "A sense of humor. You must not be from the towns."
I'm
Steps
not.
down from the wagon. "I'm looking for horses. It is not normally our way to part with our beasts of burden. They're quite valuable, you see, but I did not know that there was a traveler asking. And a lady to boot. I may be able to help. How many?"
There are 6 of us in total.
So we'd want one horse for each?
Preferably, but if that's
You could
not the
probably get
case,
away with 4.
then less can work.
I would certainly say less. But tell me, why are you looking for horses?
We're traveling to Vallaki, so we have quite a ways to travel, and
I'm traveling to Laki. And if I may be so bold, you wish to hasten your travel because of the dangers of this land, correct?
you could say that, or you could also say that we have an urgent need to be there.
Then might I suggest horses are not what you seek.
What is it that we should seek instead of horses then?
What you should seek instead is the miraculous potion of safe passage. You see,
Fuck!
we are people of this land, and we know its tricks very well, and we have learned how to combat them. But naturally, cunning cannot be imparted so easily to someone who is in a hurry, much like yourself is. So we have found ways to manufacture potions. They are a special charm that can not only avail you against the dark beasts of this land.
Do I even need to roll insight
David, do I need to roll insight?
It depends on how great you think this pitch is.
No, I think it's terrible.
Well,
I asked for horses.
okay, you
and
may
he's
not,
trying
but
to
does
sell-
Greila know?
Greila
Against
is
not just the dark
slightly
beasts,
annoyed.
but I no doubt you've noticed that there's a magical mist that surrounds this place.
I am.
Rumor
Also-
says that it is impenetrable, but it's not true. If you imbibe the potion, then you're capable of going through. It is how we manage, you see.
First of all, wait, I will say
Oh,
my
might.
companion begs to differ, and I'll gesture towards Sasha.
Companion, what? And he like looks. And at this point, Sasha's like wrapping up a conversation that he's having. I've never seen that man in my life. He doesn't understand.
Oh, fuck you, guy!
Well, he's a native of this land, and he is one of your people. Maybe
How
not
can you be
of-
sure? If he does not know about these, perhaps he was born afar.
This guy's good. I like this guy.
This guy is not good. This guy is pushy. That is what Greila thinks of this man. He's pushy, and he's beating around the bush.
Maybe he's pushy because he's concerned for your safety.
No.
He's so full of shit.
Yes, for real.
So full of
His
shit.
barrel-chested friend nods. I cannot speak to companion or his own knowledge, but I can suggest that you take this offer. It would likely be cheaper than the horses.
I think we'd prefer the horses. What this potion will not ease our feet that will be weary from travel, but a horse might give us a break. And I don't know about you, but the horse will still be there after the
We can
travel
bring
is
it back.
over.
We could bring him back.
We could bring, yeah, well, if it's, If you're-
All right.
Hmm.
Certainly you're missing out, but if you insist, we will not push the burden of safety and comfort upon you. So,
I'll look after my own safety, and I'll
horses.
touch my club and
You would want 3 of the horses.
at least 3.
Why 3?
Well, that might be stupid expensive in and of itself.
Well, how much of you guys' money did you spend?
He looks at the horses that
Not a lot.
are
Well, we should be
drinking,
fine.
and
He'd be
then
broke.
says,
I broke
if,
too.
if you would for a moment. And then
Well,
he
I'm not.
like quickly turns away with like his companion, and they start conversing in like low, hushed tones.
I really wish I had an animal language thing. Something to indicate how much a horse is worth, because I can clearly see in the player's handbook how much they're worth. I don't know if Greila is familiar with how much a horse is worth.
Yeah, how often do you deal with horses?
Generally, determining the worth of something is an intelligence check, actually.
Just ballparking it.
It is an intelligence check. It says it's one of the uses of it, but I don't have an intelligence modifier though.
Doesn't mean you can't make the roll.
I will make the roll, but if I roll a 1, I'm like, oh, these horses are amazing.
Well, you could also, if they do tell you a number, you could also try to do insight to see if they're fucking trying to scam you
Yeah.
or skin you.
This is true.
Well, I'm pretty sure they're already trying to skin me. They tried to sell me some bullshit potion just now.
Maybe we should.
I
First
don't know
of
what
all-
you're talking about.
I am a cleric. I know fucking magic. I think, and also
Are there not potions that
I might
guarantee
not be.
people's safety increases AC?
No, there isn't.
No,
Really? There's no potion that increases AC?
Well,
Not.
to their credit, he's guaranteeing not like it doesn't sound like just it makes you tougher. No, he said it protects you, it keeps you safe not just from the darkness of these places, but also of the magical mist that surrounds this area. Like he's made some a little more
He's-
specific claims
he's
than
made
that.
some bold.
If he was a
claims.
normal person or maybe like a warrior type, like I don't know, maybe. But you have better guesses. Now, who's to say that there's not out of character a special item in this that lets you go free? Like I mean, who knows, right?
Who knows? But we're asking to get to Velaki. He's trying. If he was trying to sell us a potion that let us negate the whole adventure, there wouldn't be an adventure.
Well, to get to Balakri, at the very least. They turn back and he says, 3 horses for 400.
400.
It's over
I-
double what they're actually worth.
I want to roll insight to see if he's scalping me.
Sure.
I got
Should have cast
no, that's
Guidance.
fine. I got 24.
You feel like you might be adding a little bit on there.
A little bit on there.
Alright, how much is a little bit?
I'll say. I think you're overcharging me. This horses are not worth. 3 horses are not worth that much money.
Well, the potion's 300.
For one
I
potion?
would need 6 of those potions. I will tell you. A base, or I don't know how much a potion's worth. We have some.
Yeah.
The most basic of potions is 50 gold at least.
Perhaps 50 gold in your country. I hear things are a little different. Import, export. You know.
I don't think there's a big export business going on in this country.
Exactly. We must make it count where we can. Well, where merchants can.
That means he sells really
We
potions
would
for
not
cheap.
we would not sell those kinds of potions. We're not that kind of people. This is something that we make because of our own personal knowledge of the secrets. You couldn't buy this back in Barovia.
Has he told me anything about the history of his people?
No.
No? Motherfucker. I asked for horses. 400 is too much. You're not going to get that much money out of me or my companions. That is an exorbitant amount.
Well,
How do you say exorbitant? I don't know.
they're quite valuable to us. They're how we move about. There's no telling what will happen in these woods if you do not have the proper protection.
I'll see to my own protection, as I said before.
I more mean our horses. There's no guarantee that they will come back.
Are you selling them to me or renting them to me for 400?
Selling. We would not rent.
Then why are you concerned about them coming back?
Our price is our price.
Oh, persuasion. You got persuasion?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
roll
man.
persuasion.
Yeah, just.
400 is too much.
Oh.
And
Okay.
400 is too much. My companions and I will not pay that much. I would walk before paying that much.
What are you persuading?
I'm
Well, basically
using
saying
that
you're not going to
argument.
get any gold. It's walking away. It's one
Yeah.
of the cornerstones of price bargaining.
It kind of sounds like more of an aggressive move for.
16
Yeah, because persuading would be fun.
for
You could
persuasion.
work it.
16.
Okay. Well, you don't sound too keen on walking to me.
I'm really tempted to just walk away and be like, I can get the fucking horses.
Do it then.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I'm gonna turn and walk. I'll be like, it's your loss. No money for you then. And I'll walk away.
Alright.
And I'll go back to.
Greila turns and begins walking away. As Greila begins walking away, the man and the other man turn and start conversing with one another, but they do not catch you before you reconvene with your group.
I'll say they did not want to part with their horses for a reasonable price. I am not made of gold, as you can see.
Well, I figured you would have a better go of it than I would. So.
Well, they tried to sell me a potion of safe passage that said that it will negate the mist in this country. I'm pretty sure you would have just mentioned that to me if there was such a thing.
unless it's like a secret of your people. But if it was a secret of your people, they wouldn't be trying to sell it to me. So
Out of character, do I know that the potions of safe passage are bullshit, or have I not heard of them before?
You do.
Okay. And I'll say no, because
Some clans sell them.
some
Yours
clans
don't.
some clans sell them to unsuspecting travelers in the mist. They make a good living off of it at the expense of others.
that is what I thought. They seemed less than
Honest.
honest. Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, there is no path outside of going directly through the woods, which I would also not recommend, lest you wish to encounter more werewolves.
You also mentioned the trees are evil earlier, so well, some trees are corrupted.
We should head tonight. Rest before darkness, and then get moving at dawn again. To travel the roads at night is dangerous, more so than normal. So we should go and take what daylight we can.
Ismark nods. Yeah, sounds like a wise suggestion.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's gonna fucking sell us even one animal. If we had had a donkey, we could have just piled our shit on it and let it fucking carry all our junk. Now we gotta walk with everything.
I was trying to go back with the. We can give you some now, and then if you want, we can break it back to the horses, and you can give us back some of the money.
They would
Take it.
definitely not do that.
Yeah.
Almost certainly.
They also certainly probably would not get their horses back. So, and I don't think they're
Well, then
idiots.
you'd be
They're
benefiting from them, as they are trying to benefit from you.
Yeah, but they're not gonna go for that. They know they won't get their fucking animals back. Whether we intend to actually bring the animals back, they'll be like, oh, they intend to bring the animals back. But they'll be dead, so they won't.
Some good persuasion and
In fact, I think that's why.
deception rolls. Good work.
I can't roll perception that well. I can roll persuasion because I have it. I'm a fucking cleric. I'm not lying Sally fucking, I don't know. I can't think of a dishonest name.
Yeah, Sally's.
Yeah,
All them
Sally's.
Sally's out there.
Give it time, I suppose.
There's gotta be a name that sounds dishonest. I don't know. Maybe whatever those two fucks names were.
Rob.
It's clearly not Rob.
I don't know. It's literally in the
It's
name.
in the name, dude.
It's literally
Shut
in
up.
the name.
Also, I can't think of a single famous Rob who's stolen anything. I can think of one who possibly murdered his wife, and another who murdered
And
a
probably
famous
robbed her.
bandit. I don't think he robbed her. He just
Maybe.
murdered her and dumped her in the ocean, probably, or whatever it was.
If I were to hold a gun up to you and asked you to told you to give me all your money, what would you call that act?
Mugging,
Robbery.
stealing. I
That's
don't
a
know.
good-
Robbing
It's
someone.
a good effort.
Anyway,
The group moves on. However, at the verge of the camp, they are stopped. A voice calls out from behind you, wait, hold on. And the man from earlier comes with 2 horses. And says, I must admit, perhaps I've been a little too hasty before. However, these horses are very, very important to us, which is why we could not spare 3. But would you take 2?
For how much?
For you, maybe perhaps a little parting gift to make up for some tense negotiations. $250.
You wanted 400 for 3, 250 for 2. That's not that much better.
Well, if not gold, perhaps you have something else on you. Perhaps that might be valuable. Tell me, how far have you traveled in this land thus far?
We've traveled. How the fuck far have we traveled? I know we came from Barovia
Not
to
very
here.
far. Well, I mean,
But
I've
we
fucking
how
coldlands. So.
how fucking long were we? How far was it before we reached Barovia? It was like a day's run, wasn't it?
I think a little less than a day.
Oh, less than a day. We reached it before nightfall. Sure.
We've been here for like 2-ish days. No, we've been here longer than 2 days. We've been here like 3 or 4 because of how many long rests we took. Right? So,
Well, you honestly know, because we've been in the house for fucking how long?
we went in the house for a while and stuff, but
Yeah. I mean, we went here and windows and couldn't see. Like,
can I roll an intelligence check to tell how long we've been here?
Like,
Roughly?
no, you know roughly how long you've been here.
Okay.
And that's like maybe 3-ish days.
It's not very long.
Yeah, it's not.
Maybe
But
before. He says, perhaps then you could help me in some other way. My duties at this camp mean that I do not get to travel as much as my fellows. Perhaps you might have something from the outside that would interest me.
something like what? I can do other things for you too as well. If you have things that need to be repaired, I can do that. Something that might be tedious and take a long time to repair, but
Might you perhaps have a nice ring, or
we sold all this
perhaps a
stuff.
quill?
Oh, he wants oil?
That was a quill.
Oh, he wants a quill.
I
He's looking for something that maybe you would have had on you,
Yeah.
not from here, because he doesn't get to travel.
I
The
asked
things
you.
I came in with. Yeah, we.
Alright, I'll show him a feather. Whatever.
Feather in the graveyard.
Yeah, that's from here. What you want? So,
Or are you saying one of his feathers?
no.
No, the feather in the graveyard.
The feather in the graveyard gave it to him.
I have 5 books on alchemy I took from that guy's library. I will pull up one and we'll say.
A
He
book
said
is where-
from outside of here.
Yeah, but he does-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, foreign goods.
His duties prevent him from traveling
I
as
have
much
a
as he would
sleeve.
like.
I'll pull out a mirror and I will say, I got this from a far place. Will this interest you?
It depends how far.
Out of character, I don't know. I got it from. I assume all my starting supplies came from.
You could make.
Okay. And I will say. I don't know the name of the other realms. I don't.
Well, you can
Baroque.
you can Hail Mary make something up, and that's fine.
I will say.
We'll know what you mean.
The Loft Tower. Far from here. More than a month's travel.
Very
Past
mysterious.
the mists.
Very mysterious.
Uh,
I think that will fit the bill nicely. Then with the addition of this, let's say 150.
That's more accommodating to you guys, isn't that 150?
Yeah, we can do that.
You were led over. You were introduced.
Okay.
Please take good care of them.
We will. What are their names, if you don't mind my asking? I'm sure you already named your horses since they're so valuable to you.
Of course. This one here is Marie, and he touches his head with the horse real quick. And this one over here, giving it the second one a pat on the side. This one here is Strong.
Marie and Sean.
I can guess where he took that inspiration from. Considering there's a 1-letter difference.
And
So
if you spell the horse's name backwards, it actually spells out Dracula.
no, sure.
While 2 horses are useful, it actually doesn't really solve our problems any because
No.
there are 6 of us.
Yeah, I know.
And everybody else still needs to
But we can pile our shit on him, I
move
guess.
its speed.
And
Well, if we grab...
you can ride one, you're blind, you won't have any risk of tripping. And Ireena can ride the other.
Would you happen to have any cards that we could buy?
What?
From you as well.
Oh, that's actually useful.
Yeah, the cart, yes, but
And it looks. I'm afraid not really.
Perhaps one that is damaged and with a broken wheel that's no longer useful.
As we typically travel in wagons, we typically use those.
All of their wagons are
But
used.
such is a mundane thing. Perhaps you could scrounge one up back in Barovia.
You're trying to send us back there, you fucks. I'll turn to the rest of my companions and ask them if. I'll say, would you rather go back to Barovia and see if we can get a wagon or a carriage? So.
I would more likely just press on and see if we can find something usable on the way there. Perhaps some soul and fortune left to have lost their wagon.
Agreed.
As morbid as it is, I think it is more likely. And less likely to use us time. As it is, sun is wasting. We should go. For the horses, crack. Take one of them, scout ahead, make sure we do not run into anything along the road. And whoever is most tired can use the other horse.
Look over to
Additionally, we
everybody.
can use it to carry any heavy supplies we have. Yes?
Look over to everybody.
I think it's
Does
for the
everybody
best
know?
as well.
Does everybody know how to use one?
What? You don't need a proficiency to ride
I
an
was just
animal.
asking in here. Does everyone know how to ride a horse? And I will say, yes, I know how to ride the horse.
I do as well.
Alright.
Ireena remarks, less well, but I am acquainted.
In D&D,
Well, that's good.
it's like knowing how to ride a car. Most people do. I know, ironic coming from me, but most people in D&D learn to ride a horse because it's basically.
Well, who
what do
knows?
you think you can ride?
This lands may not have a high horse population.
I'd say they have a population considering these people move
So
their wagon.
I heard it
Foregoing
just
flies.
to make sure. I heard something about scouting ahead.
Well, yeah, that's what's also suggested is that you take the horse. Since you're the scout, right? You can go ahead, use your superior perception and stealth to basically, find any enemies on the road, and we can use that to get around them. Or maybe you'll find something good for us along the road, like say an abandoned wagon. Maybe one that's wheel is broken. We can fix with mending.
Maybe.
Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe there'll be a cart. Maybe the cart will be a mimic. Maybe Siguror will get eaten. I don't know. But we're not going to figure that out. Sure.
Yeah, I got you.
So you ride ahead. We'll come
And
up
then
and
go.
I do not need to be on the horse. I am good.
Okay. So second horse is going to.
Whoever has the lowest constitution. Since they're the person most likely to get exhausted by doing a march. So, what's your call?
16 is not the lowest, we tell you that.
Then it's probably me unless Ireena has lower than 14.
I mean,
Which is
NPCs,
right?
man.
NPCs.
His mark offers. Perhaps it would be best if Ireena rode upon the other.
If she
Yeah,
wishes.
fine.
Of character using because I'm blind, I need a horse.
Probably easier for you.
If it was a wagon, I would use the wagon because then I'd have time to inscribe.
Ireena,
Spells.
perhaps a little embarrassed. Said, well, perhaps we can take turns.
This one.
So
If you wish.
It's been 4 hours. Any of you tired yet? No.
We're PCs. We almost count score of at least 14.
so the group,
Except for Crown.
except for
Oh, how? Huh.
Well, he has to put his high scores into Dex and Wisdom.
Yeah.
We have a luxury.
Yeah.
continues their journey.
And none of his scores are negative.
As they proceed
No.
further down the road,
Bird brain.
their aide, Crack, riding ahead, and then coming up from behind.
Do you want stealth
Yeah. Stealth.
and perception or?
I guess.
Do you roll stealth normally if you're on a horse?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's weird to me.
Not great.
Oh, I got a disadvantage and stuff.
Most animals are capable of being stealthy.
14.
I got a 14 for stealth
That's
as well.
90% of animals' defense mechanism. Well, no, we don't roll stealth because that'll slow us down. Because he's a ranger and he's traveling by himself,
Yeah.
he
I
can
guess
stealth with no loss in speed. And while doing though, he can still make perception rolls as well. That's specifically why I said you should go ahead and scout, because the ranger can scout ahead with no penalty. Because they're just that good.
You want the perception?
Only if you want to.
Yeah, of course. That'll be 19 unofficial.
You don't see anything amiss. As the group advances, their aide, Crack, riding ahead, then coming up from behind. The road is silent, ever so slightly misty on either side, though not as bad as the first time that you arrived here. And it continues through more and more dense, dark woods. A little lighter, given that you're traveling in daytime. All too soon, the light from the sun begins to fade. It is perhaps mid-afternoon when it catches your notice first. Other people's notices later, as it is gradual. Your presence in this dreary land has not gone unnoticed, it would seem.
800 werewolves.
Vampire horses.
From the mid-afternoon until the rest, from mid-afternoon onward, you're followed, though at a distance, by a raven. It only really sticks out to you because it keeps its distance somewhat intelligently.
That's weird.
That is weird. If he comes back to us to like report in at any time, I'll be like, "That's a friend of yours." Just to be a
Birds of a feather.
yeah.
Oh, maybe that's just brother you're carrying.
So I sit down
Bouncing back.
in my chair, look at the picture of my lost Lenore, and feel sorry for myself.
Never mind.
What happens next?
This is perhaps most telling that this is not a simple raven because it doesn't caw. It just stays quiet.
Well, I'm just joking. Okay, so sorry. You said he notices it first, but we all notice it.
Yes.
Okay, and it seems
There are points where like you catch up and like either Crack tells you first or you see it eventually.
Okay.
There are other birds that
do
you've
I
seen,
know
but this
anything?
one is consistent.
Do ravens have any sort of significance to Barovia? Like rumor-wise? Are they like an omen? Not a religion, maybe? To tell if they're an ill omen?
With your magic user, you might also be able to tell if somebody's familiar.
Yeah, it could be someone familiar.
You know, I
Considering
think
you
you
have one.
might have heard something.
Oh no. Raven.
Oh. How far away is the raven?
It tends to dwell maybe 5 to 6 feet away.
5 to 6 feet away?
Well,
Okay, then
Jesus.
what I am going to do is
I mean, maybe technically a little further because it's like in a tree. It's not like walking right next to you.
I was gonna say.
but is it at any point within 30 feet of me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is as we're walking down the road, I'm going to bring up a detect magic ritual cast and try to focus and see if there's any magic in it.
do familiars come up as being magic? I know they're spirits.
Alright. They might just be magical in nature.
You check it out. Or rather, bring up your detect magic. It has gained your notice, and perhaps for good reason.
Well, I try to play cool, not like in case it is some evil wizard's familiar.
Well, how cool?
But it
Totally cool. I basically just like go like, oh, and I cast the spell.
It's just somatic, right?
No, it has verbal components because it's ritual cast. It actually takes 10 minutes of me chanting. But if anyone like brings anything up, I will say just in case a creature of magic is following us. Or
You probably don't want to say that with it around.
yeah. That's a pretty good test. If it hears that and leaves, I know something is up.
Yeah, perhaps. You do your best. Keep it on the down low. Though the chanting does keep it somewhat difficult. However, the raven does not retreat as you do so. Perhaps it is merely nothing.
Tantira mistrov and hazalta. Tantir mano misa zozova. Kanda. Kanda! I will cast Detect Magic.
You're casting as a ritual?
Except that's way longer in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. I need to write down 10 minutes of
Very
magic
interesting.
words so I can actually cast a real-time
Well,
10-minute
when you-
Detect
when you
Magic.
ritual-
And everyone's just like, Mario, shut the fuck up. And I'm just like, nope.
When you ritual cast a magic, there's probably like filler words and such that you kind of transition to all of your spells.
I will cast Speak with Animals as a ritual then if we're going to take 10 minutes to fucking question the
We can do it
word.
while walking.
Yeah. Well, I'll cast Speak with Animals and I'll be like, why you following us, bird? Except for in bird talk or whatever the fuck it is. However it works.
Detect Magic reveals that the creature is magical. The magical attempt to converse with the raven provokes merely a cocking of the head.
I'll say, I know you're following us. Don't try to play dumb now. This is just gonna.
It stares intently at Greila for a moment, and then caws. And
I
takes flight from where it
understand
is.
cause. No.
Well,
You do. It didn't say a word. It just made a noise at you.
well,
Damn it.
whoever was watching
Thanks
this
for
knows now.
scaring it off.
When somebody is following you, you do not tell them, I know you're following me.
That's not true.
No, then you lay down a trap, and then you can
It's a bird.
question them.
Yeah, he's. You know they can de-summon their familiar.
Wait a minute.
They can just like dismiss it and be like, okay, I have to cut it. Boom, gone.
When you're
That
talking
was a
about,
bird.
So
trap.
what
We're talking about the birds
school
of
of
mastery.
magic was it specifically
are you talking about one character?
with my
Yes.
Detect Magic?
Are you?
Yeah.
How do you know so much about magic, Mr. Barbarian?
You
Well,
know,
no, you guys are saying it's
I would have to
intelligent,
look
it's
it up.
following
And
him. He has a familiar.
Stop to look
Yeah.
it up.
Well,
But
I'm just
I
asking
will
'cause-
go out on a limb and say it is not a particularly nefarious school of magic.
Okay. If it's
I
a
don't have to
familiar, it
correct
would be
this.
conjuration.
Ah.
If it's not a familiar,
Like
It's
summon.
not conjuration.
so I know it's not a familiar.
Ah.
Knowing it's not a familiar, can I attempt to roll a lore nature? Because Sasha has a sneaking suspicion what this is, but might need a check to confirm.
You could.
I'm just wondering.
Okay.
What has like a
If you
no
switch
eye
between
between its actual eyes?
Do
21.
you actually talk?
Yeah,
Like,
you-
do you actually talk like you talking to a person, or do you talk like a bird?
I don't know. It says you gain the ability to comprehend and verbally communicate with the beast for the duration.
Sasha mulls it over.
Yeah. So you can talk to him.
He's pretty positive.
So
He's not
But
I might
that's
be
not
making
super
animal
sure.
noises.
If he's making animal noises, how do you know if he's
However, Sasha suspects that, given how it acted, it may be a werewolf.
Yeah, that's what he was thinking.
What?
It's like a werewolf, but for ravens.
That sounds way less threatening.
Our ravens are dope. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, less threatening, not lame.
Then I will say, I believe it was a human in the shape of a raven.
Sounds like a droid.
No, like the wolf we met earlier, but the bird.
Well, that doesn't bode very well for us since the wolf people attacked us.
Do I know anything about war ravens?
Not too much.
Okay.
Like you've read about.
I just know that it's. I probably like read were raven and be like, oh, I guess that's the thing.
Yeah.
And I will say, yes. Although considering it did not attack us, perhaps it is merely curious.
Maybe.
We did wander into its territory. Would the dog want to come and search what was going on?
It probably would. David, I have a question. When I cast Speak with Animals, do I talk like a fucking animal to that animal?
Like Eliza Thornberry.
Well, I'm
It's
just
a old
asking.
shell.
Is
I
it-
knew that's exactly what you were going to say before you said it, too. Like, as soon as you asked that question, I was like, Ed's going to say, it's like Eliza Thornberry, right?
Except for D&D was
Like,
wrong.
I watched it at the same time I was watching Road
was just making a
Restaurant.
comparison.
And
I
I
knew
wasn't
that's so much the reference you were going to make. Not Dr.
It says,
Doolittle.
Unless
the spell says you
unless
gain-
it is clarified differently, I'll say yes.
Okay.
But if you're super curious, you could potentially look it up later.
But when
Then
Dr.
I'll-
Doolittle talks to
Well,
animals, he
I have the
talks
spell
like a
right
person.
and it just says you gain the ability to
Voices.
comprehend and verbally communicate with beasts for the duration.
Yeah, and I'm
So-
saying I'm sure someone has made an official ruling on that.
Okay.
But I will say yes, barring clarification, in
Well,
which
then
case
you
we'll
don't-
follow that
I
instead.
said it's the goddamn raven.
But for right now, yes,
Okay.
you did call at it.
Yeah, let's turn it.
Okay.
At which point, Crack comically looked at you funny.
What?
Because you were looking at him funny, and you're the one who's asking. So I assume there's a point where he like caused the raven, and you, ironically, are the one to look at him like, what are you doing?
Fucking weirdo. You trying to talk to birds now?
Perhaps this
Yes.
human does not know that we have
Hello.
vocal cords now.
I know ravens can talk, like, they can actually speak actual words, but that doesn't mean they understand human language.
Perhaps curiously, or perhaps suspiciously, nothing further troubles your travels before night falls.
I hate this job.
And much less so before it is dark enough that you consider resting, lest you decide to travel through the night.
No. Let's stop. Pick
Fire
a spot.
Fire would make us more noticeable.
You
Is
find
it
an excellent...
Could you find us a place? Or unless you're just gonna skip that and assume we already found a good place.
No.
Easily
This will be
defensible place.
Go ahead.
Okay. Could you find us a place?
Is this survival? You want to roll a survival check?
Alright, let's run away.
Yeah, I'll take that.
You don't have survival?
No.
Well, I just assumed he did.
I will assist him with his checking.
Well, assisting, you don't roll.
I'll give him the 8 action to find a fucking good place.
Well, assisting doesn't mean you have to do the 8 action. You can be assisting and then he's gonna roll 7. It's not like they're opening a door.
No. But as long as somebody can do it by themselves and they're trained in it, then somebody can assist.
He's not
them.
trained in it.
He is.
Yeah. Regardless, that's not the point.
You do your best. Perhaps not wanting to let down the request of you, even though you're not... You're bird-like, but that doesn't mean you're a bird. But yeah, it's nothing that you haven't endured before.
I got 15 by the way. I don't know what if he's gonna roll and what he got.
Do you want me to roll, David?
No.
Okay.
You do your best, and you find maybe just a little off the road, like a small patch of trees. It's got like a little bit of space in between. It's not like worlds better, but maybe if it's a little off the road, but like not already crawling with insects and already has like a little bit of clearing, it'd at least be easier to camp there.
As long as we're not camping on it. Hell.
You're able to settle down and make preparations for turning in and resting. What will come in the future days, you will only find out with the dawn and the audience at home next time.
Cool.
Until then, send us off.
So marvelous. You can find more of me on Lights Camera Initiative on Twitter. Sasha has mixed feelings about this session. Obviously, going home and seeing more of Vistani has left him conflicted. Didn't like that they tried to rip Greila off, or just generally seemed carefree and pretty ignorant to the plight of the native Barovians, just because they're not as affected. This is kind of fucked up to him. It has redoubled his desire to see Strahd defeated and the Barovians set free. He also wishes that Ireena would woman up a bit and draw her sword in her own defense.
Both of them.
Or take the dodge, actually, so they hit.
Yeah, but to Sasha, Ireena's the one who's actually Strahd's target. She's the one who needs to defend herself. She can't rely on other people.
No, well, somebody's brother should also be willing to defend them.
That's besides
Stop
the
arguing
point.
how Sasha feels. What the hell are you talking about?
You really
So yeah,
should.
I liked the. I think I got to show some, multifacetedness of Sasha, not just a jerk, not just a fireball machine.
Greila was frustrated that people kept assuming she was ignorant and trying to take advantage of her for some reason. But she's gotten over it since they've spent hours on the road now, and they have at least some horses rather than none. The reading was interesting to her, and I guess she just wants to rest since they've been walking for a while. And I assume walking in armor is not that fun since I've done it. But
It's like, didn't you have to work with like a 50-pound pack or some shit like that?
I had to walk with a rucksack with my vest, helmet, and my saw.
So it's more than 50 pounds.
Yeah, more than 50 pounds. But but it's doable. Anyway,
Yeah, but that's also not chainmail.
What about
Yeah.
crack?
It's just a normal day.
just a normal day being kidnapped, burnt on.
But to be fair, for Crack, it was pretty normal.
Sure.
He stabbed the tree thing and hung around a fire.
Yeah.
I guess so.
And of Siguror?
People were interesting, didn't really have much interaction with them itself, but guess we'll see how true the seer is. Because, yeah, they did know some points, so might be something to what they were
You skeptical?
talking about. Yes.
Uh,
Not me, seers.
yeah, I guess
So perhaps yet more. But until then, I'll see ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.